What's up, everybody? Welcome to EDM Chatters, the news show covering everything that's been happening in our industry this week. From brand new tracks to sensational stories and topics that matter, we're here to fill you in.
I, of course, am one of your hosts, Vincent Beck, producer here at EDM Matters, and with me, as always, is the LA Beard Guy and the host of EDM Matters, Matt Meadow.
What's up, dude? How you doing?
Good, man. Just getting through the week as always.
I know,
a
it feels
bright,
like
sunny day.
Yeah, it feels like every week is just kind of going through the motions these days.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. How have you been? How's your week going?
It's been good. Had a little going away party for one of my roommates. That was fun. Actually, it's Blank, who is going back to Australia for a little bit to spend some time with family. So,
Wow.
yeah, we're going to be sad to see him go, but he's coming back in January, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's good. It's not like a you're not saying goodbye forever, right? So
no, not at all. No, I could never say, we love him way too much in this house to let him go.
For sure. Well,
Yeah,
safe travels to Blank for sure.
absolutely. Yeah, we wish him well and hope he gets back soon. Well, we know when he's getting back. But anyway, he's actually going back to Australia to play a couple of festivals, and that's because Australia has been doing such a great job of managing their COVID situation. Other countries are not doing that well. Actually, our first topic today, the UK's first socially distanced music venue, specifically for socially distanced shows in the UK, actually shut down 1 month after it opened due to a COVID spike in the UK. So I guess it was nice while it lasted.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to report on this again because
I know.
I mean I was kind of excited when we reported on this new idea. It seemed like I don't know about like revolutionary, but it was like we were excited, right? And now that it's shutting down, it's a huge bummer just to see
It really is.
something being tried and just go away.
Yeah, and it should be noted, I need to make this clear that the spike wasn't even attributed to the venue itself. There's been no evidence to suggest that this venue caused any spike or any outbreak in cases. It was just a spike in cases in the UK in general, and so they shut this venue down. And like you said, I mean, it's just a shame that, some people, like actually illegal raves in the UK are sort of running rampant. People trying to, get back to normalcy, but actually just making it worse for us all in the long run.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of like what's happening here,
A little bit, yeah. I mean, we have our own group of, I was going to say vandals, I was going to say derelicts, I suppose.
Irresponsible people.
Let's just go with
let's
that.
call it that.
I don't need to be a wordsmith every minute of every day. Irresponsible people, that's what it boils down to. And, I think we all want to get back to our shows as quickly as possible. But I mean,
I know I do.
I
think everybody.
Yeah. It was my entire social life. I mean, I don't have any social life now, even without shows, just because I'm stuck inside and I'm observing social distance rules and guidelines and everything. But, it's one of those situations where we all need to hold each other accountable and responsible in order to get us all back to some version of normal as quickly as possible. And
exactly.
And the more of us that are flaunting those rules, the longer it's going to take, and the more it reflects poorly on our community, because you don't, like, apart from like the Sturgis rally where all the motorcycle people came and saw Smash Mouth. It's mostly been EDM shows that are ending up in the news for these socially irresponsible events. And just like, if it was maybe spread around different genres, I mean, I still wouldn't condone it, but at least we could be able to like work with that kind of negative publicity on the scale. But it's really just us. And it's not like EDM has had the easiest public image profile in the past either. So
Yeah.
what are you doing? I don't know. It's
a perfect storm kind of situation, and it's a huge bummer. So
yeah.
hopefully this place can open up again once their spike subsides. I guess their curve just
Has to
goes
flatten
down.
it. Yeah,
exactly. So
yeah. I mean, it's a shame, but sort of I'm hesitant to call this a silver lining, but on our next topic, because of COVID, there are so many venues in the US that are going unused because there aren't any shows. So Live Nation, probably the biggest events promoter in the country, is actually transforming some of their venues into polling places for the 2020 election. And I think that's such an amazing idea because these venues are large. They support massive capacities that, some polling places. When I was little, I was going to polling places in neighbors' garages, like lining up on the street with my parents waiting to go vote. The polling place near me is at a school, so we get to go into their gymnasium, but not everybody has that opportunity. Now, Live Nation is transforming some of their massive venues like the Wiltern and the Palladium here in Los Angeles into polling places. And the Palladium alone can hold 3,700 people. Obviously, it's not going to be filled with people, but I think it's going to give people in those areas a different option. I think the more polling places we have, the better, honestly, because it gets more people out to vote. If, for whatever reason, someone is hesitant to drive an extra mile, that, closer polling place can make the difference between one vote and no vote.
it gives people more options.
Absolutely.
And I think this is a really cool idea. I think they're working with I don't know if the NBA is a part of this. I remember I think announced that they were trying to turn like one of their stadiums into a polling place to help people and
do you know if that was the NBA or like a team owner or what?
I'm not sure. I just remember hearing or reading a story about it, and it basically a lot of companies and large organizations are taking it or doing a lot of the work to make it easier for people to vote, give them the option to go to different places, if they can't go to,
actually I'm reading my notes here on this Live Nation move, and you're right. Live Nation is working with a number of organizations to get out the vote, including an organization called More Than a Vote, which is a coalition of Black athletes and artists dedicated to protecting voting rights by converting sports arenas into polling places.
Right.
So, there you go right there. They're also working with an organization called Headcount, which focuses on voter registration, the Civic Alliance, which is a nonpartisan business coalition, and as well as the poll workers recruitment initiative called Power the Polls. So not only is Live Nation opening up their venues, they're actually making sure that people get to the polls, which is taking it that much further, which is also an incredible show of forethought, and it proves how important this vote is going to be this year. And I don't think that anyone can argue that this is the most important election of our lifetimes. I don't think we'll ever see an election more important than this.
Most definitely. Yeah.
But man, I'm just nailing. I'm nailing these segues. You're gonna love this one too, because we're really hoping that the country gets back to normal next year, and hopefully with a good outcome in this election, it will be. But Insomniac is so hopeful that 2021 is going back to normal. They've already announced 3 festivals in the past month or so. They've announced EDC returning to Europe in 2021, the first time since 2016. And they've announced Day Trip, which sold out in 90 minutes. That's in Southern California. And they also announced Nocturnal returning to Glen, Helen, after they said it was going to be their last year there in 2019. but things change, and they might be going back this year. Actually, there is a chance they might not be going back. They ran into some issues with the venue, but they're going to do everything they can to go back there, because I'm pretty sure you've been to Glen, Helen.
Yes. I don't like that place that much, but yes.
Hold on, because we went there together for a System of a Down show.
Yeah.
Okay, have you been there for an EDM festival, though?
Yeah, I went to Nocturnal last year for that.
Okay.
There.
Yeah.
I went to there.
So you were there for its supposed last year.
I didn't know it was its last year, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, last year at that venue it was supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
What was your impression of it? The venue?
Like in general, like my take? Like
yeah, I mean,
like overall experience.
Yeah, there's one aspect of it that I'm kind of expecting you to hit on, and
let's see if I get this.
Yeah,
it is a fucking shit show to get in.
No, that wasn't it.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, my experience every time, like the System of a Down show, that was Nocturnal.
Yeah, I mean, the System of a Down show was correct because I forgot my ticket.
Oh yeah, it's been a while, but I don't remember. No, but
yeah, go ahead.
So the way, I don't know if there's like a secret like industry street that you take, Matt, but like us normal people, like when I went for Nocturnal, sorry, I'm giving you shit. No, for Nocturnal, we took like there's like one way in. There's only one way in to Glen Helen.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like to the parking fields, the fields of parking, and it takes a while to get through there, and there's no like good way to get in, and you take the same way out, so it's just like it's an absolute trek to get to the venue.
Yeah, no, that's for damn sure. I think the one time I went to Glen Helen for an Insomniac festival, I did have like a staff parking pass, and it was right behind the main stage, which was fantastic. Ooh. But I went there for Hard for 1 year, and I did the camping, which was one of my favorite years of Hard. That was for its 10-year anniversary, I believe, in 2018.
Okay.
I want to say.
Yeah.
I believe so. Maybe 2017. Either way, that was a really good experience. I was camping that year for Hard. That was fantastic. But the suggestion that I was looking for was the damn hill.
Yeah. Like the whole thing, like
the hill from obviously I don't know how Nocturnal was structured when I went when you went, but when I went for Hard, there were 3 stages downhill, and the main stage and the purple stage were up that massive hill. And it was always such a choke point and trek. Like I'm not out of shape by any means. I can still go up a hill as easily as the next 27-year-old guy. But I mean, just doing that like 4 or 5 times a day, 6 times a day, in the heat, after a while it gets to you.
You got to do some cardio, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, okay, to be fair, the year that I went to Hard at Glen Helen, I also, in terms of like burns, what's the least severe, like 1st degree, 2nd degree, 3rd degree? Least severe.
I'm not familiar.
Whatever that least degree is, I got that in a sunburn. Oof. And I had to wear a long sleeve shirt the second day, the entire day, because my skin was so sensitive that in any sunlight, it would just hurt. So
I know what you're talking about. Like Glen Helen is not flat. Second Sky, like out in Oakland, that was like completely flat. I also did get a sunburn there, so twinsies.
Gotta wear that sunscreen, especially with this white skin.
It was cloudy, and I was an idiot that day.
Yeah, clouds are deceivers. Don't believe them. Yep, they do.
But yeah, Glen Helen for sure. Like super hilly. It's pretty overwhelming too. Like you said, it's a choke point, and I'm like walking like down the hill from one of the stages, and I was just like, oh my god, am I like in Lord of the Rings? Because there's just like a fuck ton of people that we had to like wade through just to get to our friends who were like, I don't know, few thousand feet over that way or something. I don't know. Yeah, but
I do want to return to the topic. I love
yeah,
but I did want to mention how perfect of a time it is for Insomniac to announce their return to Europe, especially with lower COVID cases on that continent. Maybe it might be in the UK. They haven't actually announced a country or a venue for their show yet. It's just EDC Europe, like Ultra Europe is in Europe, but it's in Croatia. So we're still waiting to hear where it's going to be, but based on the lower number of cases in that continent, just in general, I think it's a really smart time to bring that festival back from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, statistically, it's probably safer, and maybe Insomniac can come back in some way, shape, or form out there. And
exactly.
Yeah.
So our next topic, you put this in here. Spotify now lists virtual events. Do you want to break that down a little bit? I think I'm a little behind on that one.
Yeah, so this is just like a little thing. We're about 6 months into quarantine, maybe 7 months. I don't know. I've lost count.
Yeah.
But we've all seen it all over Twitch, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, probably. All artists are doing some form of virtual event through live streaming. So there goes Matt for a sec. Let me keep going. Spotify now lists virtual events on artist pages. So they're partnering with Songkick. I'm not familiar with any of these. Hey Matt, welcome back.
Hi.
I'm not familiar with any of these platforms, but Songkick and Ticketmaster will basically allow you to post that event data on Spotify. So any like upcoming virtual event that you post up on Songkick or Ticketmaster, it will show up in your artist profile on Spotify.
Are you familiar with Bands in Town?
Yes.
So
I used that like way back in the day, but it's
so that's
the same thing.
essentially that's sort of what Songkick is.
Yeah.
Same like basic idea, just like it's a compendium of shows, artists playing shows, their past shows, and it also links to tickets and all that other stuff. So I mean, that's really cool. I know that for me, with so many virtual events, it's been really hard to keep track of who's where and what's going on. So, I'm on Spotify constantly. I never close the app on my computer. So having that info at my fingertips in an artist's profile, that would be useful to me. So I would really appreciate that.
Yeah, most definitely. And if you read up on this, don't think that Spotify is actually allowing people to stream live to the app.
No.
It's just a way for them to list shows. So they haven't made that move yet, but maybe in the future. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Spotify already lists events nearby, or at least it did when there were events nearby. Right. So I guess this is just the
next step.
They're making do. They're turning lemons into lemonade.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Spotify, I'm nailing these transitions today. Speaking of Spotify, we're going to talk about what we're adding to our playlist this week. Please don't forget to follow our weekly picks playlist on Spotify to get all of our favorite tracks from the week. We'll have the link in the description below. And I am so happy to finally be able to say this, we got new fucking Pendulum music.
Terms.
I will sound my own fucking alarm because, and I don't mean to brag, but I have had Driver as a private link since March, and I think I can get away with saying this without getting in trouble. They were going to release it much earlier. They were going to release it months ago, but because of COVID, they decided to push it back because there were no live shows. They didn't have any reason, and they didn't have any immediate concern of getting it out to play live shows. So they were just like, you know what, we're going to sit on this. We're going to take our time. I think in that time, they also finished and refined Nothing for Free because I didn't have that one. I didn't have that one as a promo back then. But literally, this has been one of the hardest secrets to keep. I have had this song since March, and it is finally out. Driver, Nothing for Free are finally out, and they are so good. It's like Pendulum hasn't lost a step at all. They are going, like, after it's been 10 years since they last released new music, their album Immersion, and hand to God, if they had released this a year after Immersion, now 10 years after, it sounds exactly like how I wanted them to sound, especially after this long hiatus. And I'm so happy they came back. And
it's new Pendulum.
Yeah.
New Pendulum. I listened to these songs for the first time this week, and I can't top what Matt just said. It just brings me back to the immersion times.
Yeah.
The instrumentation, the production is just top notch. It's Pendulum.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I have to say. It's Pendulum. Yeah. Like, Rob Swire and Gareth McGrillen are gods in the studio, and when you combine that with Paul Harding's penchant for like knowing play styles, live DJ sets, KJ Saka's drums, one of my old roommates, and someone who we've had on the show, it comes together so beautifully. And there are some Pendulum tracks, obviously, that I don't like as much as others, but I can't name a bad Pendulum track.
Right.
I can't do it because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And I think there was definitely the possibility that after such a long time, they could have come back and missed a mark. Like, I don't know what they've been doing these past 10 years. They've been doing Knife Party. Maybe they're going to turn Pendulum into some weird housey electro shit. But nope, they went right back into their wheelhouse and evolved it, and it sounds so fucking good.
Yeah, man. I played Driver while I was doing some work today, or not today, earlier in the week, and the drop came through. I'm like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Like, this is amazing. I was like rocking out for sure.
It's so damn good. But they're not the only ones who've released new drum and bass. Actually, as we were speaking about before, Blank just released his new Change and Decay, the Fall EP, the follow-up to his, Oh
no. Discord just kicked Matt. Discord does not like Matt today. Matt, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
As
I was saying.
Blank's EP.
Blank's EP, Change and Decay, the follow-up to his Change and Decay EP back in 2019. The lead track on this, called Welcome, is actually some really, really incredible drum and bass, and we've seen Blank exploring more in that genre with some live sets and other, teasers in his sets, and it feels really good to see him delving into this genre himself and really just blowing it out of the park, nailing it. So, the rest of the EP is also absolutely phenomenal. They got 6 new tracks, Zero, Shadow, Alchemy, as you mentioned, The Fall. They're all absolute bangers, and we'd expect nothing less from Blank. So, go check that out. Obviously, we have Welcome in our Spotify playlist for this week for you to go check out after this. We also have the new Flux Pavilion single from his forthcoming album called You and I. And Vince, how much have you been paying attention to like Flux Pavilion in the past year or so?
Dude, I've slowly rediscovered Flux Pavilion over the past maybe 2 years because I kind of fell out of it back in college, right? And he just keeps. I'm just like, oh my god, he's just like nonstop. He keeps making solid work. Like,
he really does.
This track, no less, is evident of that.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you've been paying attention to his releases, I don't know if you pay attention to I'm sure you do. If you pay attention to styles on Spotify, especially in track art, you'll notice that at the beginning of 2019, he started changing up his track art, and it sort of signaled a shift in his sound into a poppier direction, but still has that Flux Pavilion signature. Like, how some artists have that signature sound? Flux Pavilion has.
I know what you're talking about.
Flux Pavilion has this very recognizable bass. And even when some of his more poppy tracks go in interesting direction, like his track with Feed Me, there's still that, I guess, skeletal structure of Flux Pavilion that you can pick up on and latch onto. Like, even if he does like the weirdest, most experimental shit, at the end of the day, like, if you can latch onto that one little bit of Flux Pavilion, then he's got you hooked already. Because if you're a Flux Pavilion fan, you love his sound, and even as he expands his sound, if he can keep you grounded with that one little bit, that's enough. And I think that's really strong in telling as a producer that he's able to maneuver his tracks and expand and do some popular stuff and still bring his core fan base back by saying, hey, look at me, I haven't changed that much. I'm doing new shit. But if you listen here, I'm still Flux Pavilion. I'm still here.
Exactly. It's a similar sound, but it's I like the fact that I think he did, like, on that same note, like, I think he's grown. Like, I remember, like, coming back to Flux Pavilion after Savage, which I think he did with Weethan or something.
Yes.
Like, they did like a little collaboration at some point. I was just like, whoa, like, this is like a poppy like EDM banger or something, but it's Flux Pavilion, and like it's so good, and UNI is on that same level. It's so solid.
I mean, even on the Weethan note, like, we even gushed about his track with Marshmello, Room to Fall. Like, that one is fantastic. But I'm gonna end it there. It's enough about things we've been listening to. That does it for EDM Chatters. I hope you enjoyed our ramblings, and there have been plenty this episode, and I hope you maybe learned a thing or two. Please don't forget to like and comment on this video and subscribe to our channel if you want more exciting EDM content from us. Or comment if you want us to talk about our favorite pastries. I don't know. We're willing to talk about it. Whatever you want, we'll see you in the next one. This has been Matt. You're Vince. This has been EDM Chatters. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Bye.